Hello everyone, how are you today? Do we have a glare? I can't tell, and I'm sorry if we do, but I'm just gonna keep going. Got my trusty old apron on, and I'm in the mood to bake. So I'm sweating. We just walked to the post office and came back. So what I am baking, you can tell by the title, is it's called One Bowl Apple Cake or just plain old apple cake. I love it. It's relatively easy, it's simple, it's quick to make, and it's bloody well delicious when it's done. It's a tasty fall treat. So I'm gonna quickly give you the rundown of the ingredients and then we'll get moving. So what you will need is obviously a bowl, a mixing bowl. And you will need 2 eggs, 1 3/4 cup sugar, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, a 1/2 cup of oil, 2 cups flour, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and 6 cut up apples, peeled preferably. You do not have to slice. I'm not much of an apple slicer. I do prefer that my apples be cut into chunks when I am baking them. And I mean, you know, they don't have to be big chunks. I'm talking, you know, relatively that size. So let's get to work. What I wanted to tell you is where this recipe originated. When my son was in preschool, which was many, many moons ago, because I'm old, his preschool class was working on the number 2 and apples. They would do, you know, a number and something, some fruit, something educational every day. And what they did was they cut out the shape of an apple and, you know, pasted onto something, and the preschool teacher gave them the recipe to write down. So the big thing was writing the number 2. And he brought it home as a project that they did for class. And so let me say, you know how I say 1 3/4 cup sugar? When that recipe came home to me, everything was 2. So it was 2 eggs, 2 cups of sugar, 2 teaspoons cinnamon, 2 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons baking soda, and it was 2 sticks of butter melted. So I've just changed it up a little. The thing is I love that recipe. It's friggin' delicious, but I know that's not what I had in the house today. That's the only reason why. But these substitutions were not made by me. I found it on the internet at myrecipes.com. So I just thought I'd put that little disclaimer out. So when I'm only putting, you know, we're putting in a 1/4 cup sugar less than the original recipe that he brought home from me, and the oil, those are substitutes from some other genius on the internet, because I'm not a genius, but I like to bake stuff. So now let's get going. Before we get started, preheat your oven to 350 degrees. First cup of flour. Second cup. Now we're going to add a cup and 1 cup 3/4 of sugar. I wonder. I love saying that. This one's very butter. 1 cup of sugar. 3/4 cup sugar. I'm just gonna mix those in. Mix those together. The recipe calls for 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am not putting that much in. I only put in 1 teaspoon. That's just a taste choice. The rest is up to you, okay? 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 2nd teaspoon of baking soda. A 1/2 cup of oil. Oh, gee. Add your 2 eggs, and now it's time to mix that all together. I just wanted to show you really quick. This is just 1 apple. 1 apple that I sliced and then just like cut up into, you know, nothing special. Not sliced, not perfect, just cut up. And I'm gonna mix it in, and then I'm gonna go back and put the next peeled apple in. The reason why I cut up 1 at a time and then mix it in, because it just makes it that much easier to mix into the mixture. If that makes sense to you. It's hard to do 6 apples all at one time. This makes it much easier to work with. Okay, so I'm putting this in, I think this is an 8x8 baking pan, and I'm just smoothing it in. I use, what do you call it? Parchment paper to line all my baking sheets. It just makes a much better cleanup. So I'm now going to take a little bit of sugar, which let me show you. And I just, that was a little bit too much in that corner there, but I just sprinkle it like that across everything. I'll do the rest when I'm not holding my camera, but I'm gonna like spread it out all over. I'll have to fix this and do the rest off camera, but I just sprinkle it all over the top, and it makes for like a crispy topping, but totally delicious. And like I said, no, actually I may not have said this, but this is nowhere near a keto or low carb. This is Sugar City over here, but delicious. And before I pop it in, I do want to just show you this. It's a mixing bowl with a little spout. Well, I couldn't get the label all off, but regardless, I got this at the Dollar Tree, and I can't even tell you how often I use it. It's perfect, and it's great for mixing things. And for being $1, I love it. Okay, let me get this in the oven, and I'll be back. And there you go. My knife did that indentation. I needed to check to make sure it was cooked all the way through, and it is. And I forgot to mention in the beginning of the video that you can cook it. Well, you cook it to your desired consistency. I like mine kind of cooked through, but with a little bit of, I don't want to say mush, but one moment. Enjoy the piece of fuzz that's stuck on my face in the next clip. What I didn't tell you is how long to cook. Basically, it's based on your desired consistency, right? I prefer it to be basically cooked throughout, but I wouldn't mind a little mush in the middle. When I say mush, you know what I mean. I don't mean dripping batter, but just like about halfway there. Because once it cools down, that tastes moist and fabulous. So that's me. So I cooked it for approximately 40 minutes. However, I did pull it out at 25, again at 35, and left it in about 5 more minutes and took it out. Did I say 40 or 45? Somewhere between there. I'm sure if you wanted it cooked a little longer, you could have done up to 50 minutes. The recipe itself calls for 50 minutes. I think that's too long, personally. But I guess everybody's oven is different too, right? So I guess you're gonna have to keep your eye on it, I don't know what to tell you. But that's it. That's my apple cake. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a fabulous day. If you enjoyed my chaos, feel free to give me a like and subscribe and come back and see me again tomorrow. Oh yeah, this would taste delicious with a cup of like old English breakfast tea and a little bit of whipped cream sprayed on top, or some vanilla ice cream on the side. Tastes that good.